In today's video, let's learn how this second-generation family business has grown to 24 locations all across Florida.
So I would say family business is very nuanced, but I will say that my dad started this in the 90s along with the help of my mom. Working in a family business, it can be tense, it can be stressful, but at the end of the day, it's like there's nothing better than being able to ride shotgun alongside your dad.
All right, welcome to beautiful Kissimmee, Florida. I'm here with a couple of my friends, RJ and Megan. So tell us where we are and what we're up to here.
Yeah, so here we're at our Vine Street location here in Kissimmee. I'm here with my beautiful fiance, Megan, who heads up our customer success team here at Supermat. I am one of the members of our ownership group alongside my mom and dad, Ron and Sherry Jansen, and this is our flagship location. We have over 35 washers in this store and 50 pocket dryers, and it's one of the most beautiful in Orlando, we'd like to think, so we're super proud of it.
Oh, no, it's amazing, and thanks for having us, and we'll talk about this a bit more as we go along, but this is not the only Supermat location.
It's not. We have a few. We have up to 24 locations now. I know that my dad started this all the way back in the 90s, actually. Actually got a distributorship in 1996 for Dexter that we still feature in our stores today. We no longer have the distributorship, but we do have 24 stores. They range in size from 2,500 square feet all the way up to 4,000, 5,000 square feet. So yeah, it just depends on where you are in Florida. But we basically range from Naples, Florida, all the way up to here in Orlando, and then all the way over to the other coast, we have a store in Pompano Beach.
Awesome. And again, we're going to want to talk about how we manage all of this, effectively. So when you bring up the Supermat brand, what do you want people to think and feel like? What is the kind of the customer-facing characteristics that you're really trying to get across to folks?
Yeah, we want to emphasize that we're kind of a laundromat for all, although we do have a little bit of a target persona of who we like to serve here in our community. At the end of the day, whether you are just coming in to use a 20-pound machine or you want to come in and use our 6 90-pound machines right behind us here, we're here to serve all guests. So we have quite the diverse community here in Kissimmee and really all throughout Florida. So we like to just be a clean, safe environment for all of our guests.
We have a standalone building. So remind me about the size.
Yeah, so we're right around the 3,800 to 4,000 square foot mark here in this store. It's a standalone building. We have plenty of parking outside. We actually have this property and the property right adjacent to it, and we did that because we wanted parking for everyone. I know our guests always are talking about parking and they want to be able to park close, and we wanted to offer that to them. So we have parking up close and personal right here, even let people come up and drop off and then go park. Sometimes our team members are actually trained to go to the vehicle and help people get into the store. So we're always on the scanning the parking lot and making sure we're there for them.
You were saying like last night, which was a Wednesday night, you had 35 cars out there?
Yeah, we were very busy last night. I think they
heard we were coming.
They knew we were having this interview today. So yeah, but we typically, even on the weekends, it can get pretty crowded here. We do have another location right down the road, and sometimes we use that to tell people, hey, we know it's crowded here, but if you go 3 minutes down Vine Street right here to our John Young Parkway location, it's a coin location, but it does serve our guests just the same.
And I see that we've got a service window behind us. So Megan, why don't you tell us what's going on here?
This is our back room for our team members. This is where all of the supplies are kept. We try to just keep it very easy and simplified, so it doesn't matter what store our team members work at. When they go in, they know exactly where to find things, where it should be, and it should just be clean and organized, not just for our team members, but also presentable for our guests. We always want to provide a great guest experience, and cleanliness is a huge part of that.
Yeah, we're going to take a closer look because I like some labels and the way things you got organized back there, so we'll definitely take a closer look. Well, if you guys have a few minutes, want to show us around?
Absolutely.
All right, we're outside here at the Supermat in Kissimmee. RJ and Megan, tell me a little bit about the neighborhood, co-tenants, demographics. Why this location?
Yeah, so Kissimmee is a really interesting market. It's very diverse here. Right behind us is Vine Street, which is a major thoroughfare here in Kissimmee. I don't know the exact vehicles per day that come through here, but we know it's a lot.
It's a lot. We can see them right now.
We have multiple points of ingress and egress here, and that's by design. We also went ahead and purchased the building just adjacent to us because at the end of the day, like I said before, we wanted to make sure we had enough parking in this general area because Kissimmee is a highly commercial area too. So all these vehicles are coming through here for various purposes. We have co-tenants such as Walmart and payday centers, and then we also have Dollar Trees and things like that. So people are kind of just going about their general day, and we wanted to find a laundromat location that was going to be easy for them to just go about their day, but also stop in and do their laundry. They don't have to go somewhere in another part of town. It's just part of their normal everyday route.
Well, it is a great location. You want to show us around?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go take a look. Start our little tour here. Maybe give us a sense of the equipment mix we've got with the washers as customers first come in. Looks like you've got everything from what, 60 pounders to 90 pounders?
Yeah, so we have right up here, we're a big believer in put your big equipment up front. This is where we drive all of our guests to, and obviously these are the most popular machines in the store, as a lot of operators know. We like the adage, bigger is better, but in reality, like I said, we have a lot of families here. We have smaller equipment on the backside, and we also have stacked washer and dryers, but the main part of the store is these 6 90-pound washers right up front. People can come in here and get all their laundry done. And then not only do we have the 90-pound washers, but on the backside, we'll get that to in a little bit, but we have 120-pound dryers. So not everyone's trying to stuff their 90-pound, their 9 loads into a 3-load dryer. So that's just something we like to highlight. And then we have equipment, like I said, ranging all the way from down to a 30-pound machine and a 20-pound machine all the way to 90s.
Okay, so at risk of showing my laundry nerd bona fides, I had to notice the drain setup here.
Yep.
So is this typical for most of your locations, or tell us how this came about?
We try to go through this in most of our locations, and in fact, we're in the process of replacing this because over time, you know, just with it, like anything, a lot of the rust or a lot of the debris that can come with having these grates, you know, comes over time, but also these are for just drainage, preventing floods. Sometimes customers will oversuds a machine. There's nothing wrong with that, but these nice drains right here just help prevent that. And they also help with just drainage of the general store.
Yeah, love that. Love that. It helps keeping things clean as well. All right, so we got some seating here on the window side. People can kind of sit here facing their laundry.
Yeah.
Because that's the best show.
I think it's important. You know, we have a couple different features in this store. One of the things we wanted to emphasize was having enough seating, having enough folding tables, but also enough space. So between this 90 and that wall and those chairs, you know, there is still that kind of standard 4 to 5, 6 feet of space. And that's just so that multiple customers can get by with carts. We have people that just want their general space from people. We're not in code anymore, but people still want their space. And then we have enough seating that, you know, throughout the store, wherever people want to sit, does get busy. And customers, sometimes they'll sit in their vehicle. One thing we actually prioritize at Supermat is having bright, open, and clean windows. So if you want to sit in your vehicle and look into your laundry, especially here in hot Florida, people like to do that. So just another kind of amenity that we feature.
Yeah, your windows aren't covered up with signs, so we like to see that. So, all right, let's head around the corner here. And RJ, you mentioned stack washer dryers here.
Yeah,
I gotta admit, that's kind of unique. I mean, I've seen these installed in some sort of smaller. So tell us the logic here and how these work.
They actually are popular, and they are kind of a challenge for our service technicians, I will admit. As you can see, they're all kind of front panel stack washer dryers, and that can make service a challenge. But the trade-off for us as operators is that in the industry, what we've seen, and in our stores in particular, is that people want to just load their washer just like they're at home. They want to load their washer, and when they're done, they want to just bring it right up to that dryer. And so that's kind of where these stacks come in. They are unique. We've had a few people in the industry that haven't seen these in other stores before, but they do get very busy, and we have both 2-load and 3-load, so 20-pound and 30-pound stack washer dryers here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let's take a closer look as we come down here. So you got, like you said, you got the larger capacity stacks here. And again, they still vend separately, right?
Yep, so separate vend, a different pricing structure from our 20s to our 30s, just like your, standard equipment. But yeah, the stacks are really sought after, and people actually will wait. It baffles us, but people will wait just to use a stack washer dryer. Some laundromats think that it's phased out, but really people come in here and ask for it in particular.
Yeah. Well, Megan, the customer's always right. So we got to give them what they're looking for. So a spin over this way, we're starting to see some of the folding capacity, but want to take a few minutes to talk about the setting here, which is our Family Read, Play, Learn Center.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about why you committed some space to it and what it does for your customers.
This is a super important space, and one we're particularly passionate about. My grandmother was actually a librarian, so my dad, when he found out about this partnership along with Laundry Cares and CLA, we went ahead and tried to put this in every location we can, and we actually have more tables and more libraries in our warehouse waiting to go into our other stores as well. We're trying to carve out space wherever we can, and some operators will talk about losing floor space to table, or they just can't fit it in. But I would say this to all operators out there: if you have the space, if you have just a little nook in your laundromat where you can put this in, or make it a prominent feature, to do so, because what happens is when families come in and they have kids and they just want a space for the kids to kind of sit and learn and read and just enjoy their time in the laundromat, it's super valuable. It lets the mom or the dad maybe get their laundry done while the child sits here and reads, or sometimes they'll do, what I love to see, Brian, is when the parents are reading to the kids, or maybe I love when the younger siblings are reading alongside their older siblings. That's always really cool to see. But yeah, we're really happy with it. We love watching the kids take the books home. That's a great feature about it. So wherever we can do this partnership, we're always doing it.
Yeah, well, I can't thank you enough. Between yourself and Megan and Ron and the whole family, really, you've supported this from the jump, and and it works.
Yeah,
it works.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's kind of pan through this way. We've got some larger stack dryers, and why don't you tell us a little bit about the dryer mix, and we'll kind of walk along and get a closer look.
Yeah, so we went with 50 pound stacks in this store, and I would recommend that to operators. When it comes to doing your dryers, I wish I could do this in all my stores and just retool all at once. But when it comes to dryer capacity, you're going to want, you obviously want your pockets. That's super important. So you want a pocket for every customer that comes in, so no one's ever looking for a dryer. But at the same time, you want that capacity. I think what happens is people will try to just overload the dryers, because if you don't have a lot of laundry education, like myself, when I went away to college, Brian, I would just throw everything into the washer and dryer and just hope for the best, even being born in this industry.
Right.
But I think what it comes down to is, you have a larger capacity 50-50 stack, and that can accommodate most people if they want to use a couple. And then right next to us as well, we have the 120 pound dryers. And like I said, when people are using maybe two 90 pound washers and they have, upwards of 10, 15 loads of laundry, they want to be able to just dry it all at once.
Let's take a step forward so we can see these giant dryers while you're talking about it. But basically, you're having them paired up with the 90 pound washers on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. And people will wait in line. If you are thinking about putting a large dryer in your store, whether it's a 80 pound dryer or 120 pound dryer or anything in between, I would highly recommend it. People will stand and wait for this dryer. You can get a higher vend for that particular dryer, but really it's about serving the guest. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't want people saying that there's not enough dryers, or there's not a big enough dryer. We have families here that have pets. They can bring their dog beds in, their comforters. They can do dog beds and comforters at the same time in here. So we love these machines from Dexter.
Awesome. Well, Megan, behind you, we've got this wonderful row of folding tables and carts. So tell us about the convenience here for your customers.
Dead center in front of everything. You can grab your stuff from the dryer, come right here, fold all of your laundry. Like RJ was saying, there's the big dryers, so it makes it really easy for families. Mom can stand here, kiddos are over here safe, they're reading, they're playing, and you can get all of your folding done. You can organize it. We have a ton of carts for all of our guests, so it's just a great way.
And more wide aisles.
Yes. And everybody can get through. It's not super tight. Like everybody can get through.
No, it really looks great. Are these custom tables?
Yeah.
Or how do you go about are you trying to get these in all the stores? But these really look sharp.
These are custom granite tables. Basically, we just have a polish on top so that whether you have little kids or people sit on them, you're not going to see any scratches on here. And we want to get something along the lines of this in most of our stores. We have it at a couple of locations where, certain markets still love their multi-tier folding tables, but here what we were going for is having one kind of continuous surface. You can either have two customers using this, or sometimes one customer can be able to fold a sheet all the way from this corner of that table to the corner of the adjacent table. And people like that ability. They're not confined to just one small table space. When we're really busy, we'll have 4 people all gathered around, but no, they work great.
Yeah, well, let's kind of walk through the middle here. We've got the back side of the main bulkhead here, and so this would be kind of your matching up some of the smaller capacity machines.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, we're trying to serve all of our guests regardless of how much laundry you're bringing in, and sometimes people like to split up their loads even if they're bringing in their whole family's worth of laundry. So the smaller machines on this bulkhead are 40-pound machines, and then we have plenty of 60s in the middle, and then they're flanked again by 40s.
If we swing around this way, we can maybe take a look at the overhead here, because this is kind of part of the pride and joy, right?
Yeah.
RJ, come on in. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about what we're seeing on the monitors.
So on the monitors, we like to educate our customers whenever we have the ability to. I know we have a couple different features in the store in particular, and we kind of alternate between having atmosphere TV. Right now we have the radio feature silenced on one of our TVs, but we do like to play music. We think it kind of helps everyone inside the store and just enjoy their time a little bit more, so it's not so quiet, as much as everyone loves to listen to the drum of the 90-pound washers. Also, what we have is just this educational video that kind of shows people what to do about using the card system that we have here in this store. It kind of shows our pricing. It directs people back to our website for job applications, or ultimately, if our guests have a problem, they know where to go.
Okay, and we'll show you guys a little bit of what's coming through on those screens. And you said you did it yourself.
Yeah, did it myself. I have no background in graphic design, so you'll have to excuse some of the design work up there. But no, it's
Well, that's
it's
the life of a laundromat owner, right? If you don't know how to do it, figure it out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you have happening here on the vending side.
Yeah, so these are our vision vendors. At this particular location, we have both the combo snack and drink vision vendor, and then we also have the soap vision vendor. So what this does for our guests is when they come in, they're not forced to go across the street for a drink or a snack. And if they forgot their soap, which I do even, they can get it right here. And again, we try to be priced competitively. This is obviously a nice to have as a laundromat owner, but really it's better for the guests because they can come in here, their kids are hungry or thirsty after school. It's a one-stop shop. They can get their soap. And again, we try to offer a variety of products. And this is kind of something that we focus on and Megan helps train our team on, is making sure that when we have vending products, we are constantly checking for expiration dates. We are looking through to make sure there's no holes in any of the soap bags, no dents in the soap bottles. It's just an extra step. We go through and we dust all of our snacks and drinks just in case anything looks out of place or anything looks dirty. We don't want that in our vending, so we take the extra time to do that as part of our weekly cleaning regimen to make sure that it's a positive experience all the way around.
Love that attention to detail. And right behind you, you've got the payment center. Megan, you want to walk us through what we're looking at here when it comes to payments?
Well, this is our card system. It's very easy to use. The guests love it. We have it available in English and Spanish. It's super easy. You just click on it, and then you can check your balance. You can get a new card. You can also add additional value, and then you can use your card or pay cash as well to reload your balance. And then we also have a bill-to-bill exchanger here. So if you have a 20 and you only need to spend 5, this will break that for you.
Well, one of the things, RJ, that stands out is that you got the Supermat branding on the units themselves. So Supermat, Supermat, Supermat.
Yeah, I think one thing that both the CLA is talking about and just laundromat operators across the country is branding. And I know my dad, Ron, has always been very particular about having a brand from the get-go. Our logo was actually drawn on a napkin in the 90s by one of my dad's close friends, and is the exact same logo that we have today.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's particularly important over a multi-store operation where, like I said, a lot of our customers are renters, and so by definition, they're moving.
Yep.
And so when they move to a new place, they might find a Supermat near them.
Exactly. And I especially want to just point out that having the branding on everything you can put it on is important, but also even down to like our cards, when they come out of the machine, they say Supermat on them. So when someone goes to another location or anywhere in the state of Florida, our cards work at different locations. There it is,
right
exactly.
On cue, Megan. Perfect.
So yeah, we have that Supermat card, and people.
It says the location on the back.
Yep, it says the location, and people will see that in someone's wallet, and they'll say, Supermat, what is that? And as an operator, that's just something you want to focus on. Hey, how can I continue to drive traffic towards my store?
Okay, well, at the top of the video, I talked about the back room here. So Megan's going to show us her pride and joy here. So let's head around the corner this way.
One thing I always try to do is just make it easy. Especially if you're a new team member or you forgot something you're not quite sure, you can look here and you can see, what rags am I supposed to use? What cleaning chemical should I be using? And then same thing here, we have our error codes as well for our washers. So if you're a team member and you're like, what does F2 mean? I'm not quite sure what to do. You can come here and reference this, and it'll tell you exactly what to do and how to diagnose that issue. And we also have available in English and in Spanish because we do have a lot of Spanish-speaking team members, and we want to make sure that everybody is welcome and it's easy for everybody.
I think that's a first. I don't think I've seen that anywhere before.
Excellent.
Kudos.
We just try to make it very, very, very easy. Important, contact information.
Okay.
Everything is color coded, so chemicals, for example, are in red. PPE, which is personal protective equipment, that's going to be in orange. So we do have color coding for everything, and again, it's just to make things very easy for our team members. So if you go to a different location, you know exactly what you're looking for, you know where you're going to find it. It's also just for cleanliness as well, and it looks really nice for the guests.
Yeah, no, it looks great, you know, for your team, but also again, kind of communicates to the guests that we've got our act together here, and everything's going to be well taken care of. But again, right behind Eric here, I see this lineup of every kind of mop, broom,
Everything you need.
everything
yeah.
you need here, and well labeled.
Yes, we try to make sure that our team members have every single resource, every supply that they need to do their jobs easily. If you're going in your back room, you're shuffling through and you're just trying to find the chemical you need, or you're trying to find a broom, that takes a lot of time and energy. And so we just strive to make things very easy and convenient for our team members.
Awesome. Well, can we take a closer look? Head back this way. Megan, I hear that this is part of your pride and joy back here. So what do these binders mean, and what do we have going on here?
Yeah, so these are the resources for our team members.
Okay.
We have safety, informational things. This, for example, is our attendant guide. So this breaks down how long shifts, how long their shifts are. So if I'm working an 8-hour shift, I can come here and it's going to break down exactly what I should be doing.
Okay.
We also have our employee handbook here, so you can always reference it. So if you're not quite sure about a certain policy or you have a question, it's always going to be here for you. And you can always reach out to your manager and say, hey, what does this mean, or I need help with this, and you'll always have that resource here.
Love the detail.
And then in here we also have our cleaning checklist as well, and it just breaks down, throughout their day what they should be doing. They initial it, they put timestamps on here, and then again, if I'm not sure, how do I wipe down the washers, it's actually in here. There's directions in here.
Wow.
So everything that you need to know is in here, especially good for brand new team members as well.
Well, often the simplest ideas are the most brilliant.
Yeah.
Because that really makes a big difference. And then I also see, so the SDS sheets for anything else that they're using here, cleaning products and so forth.
Yes, yeah. So our SDS is safety data sheets. Very important to have these. If there was ever an incident, you got some a chemical in your eye or on your skin or on your clothes, you needed to know how to deal with it. You could come in here. You're just gonna.
Good.
You're just gonna open it. You can go to any chemical. It's gonna tell you emergency phone numbers. It's gonna tell you how to deal with that. Additionally, we also have an eye wash station as well. So if there, you did get a chemical in your eye, you do have that resource as well to be able to get that out of there and be safe.
No. Well, again, not only is it important to have this, but it shows care for the team member.
Yeah.
Because you've taken the time to put this together and give them the roadmap to do the job well and to stay safe.
And at the end of the day, you can't run a good business, you can't provide a great guest experience if it's not safe, if it's not clean, not just for your guests, but also for your team members. So safety is safety and guest service are number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is one of our back rooms. We store our mops and our spin mop back here as well. You have this large shop vac in order to get up to the ceiling, to get that all cleaned. We like to have all of our extra chemicals here, so we actually have a set amount that goes in there. And then the managers, they'll pull on the shelves here and they base their inventories off this, so they know what to order, when to order it. So if they're getting low here, they know, hey, I need to place an order, I'm missing 3 or whatever amount that they're missing.
We're going to continue our behind the scenes look here. We've got a bulkhead. RJ, show us what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so all laundromat operators kind of cringe when you open their bulkhead doors because it really is kind of a truly behind the scenes.
Right.
But this is really an important part of every store. And if you don't have a bulkhead cleaning regimen part of your every other day, just cleaning regimen of your store, I would highly recommend it. So we have one central bulkhead for most of our washers other than our stacks here in the store. And basically how it works is everything is flowing into that main line there, and then it comes down to this filter, and a lot of operators have the same kind of filter set up in their stores, but we actually make sure that our team members try to clean this once or maybe twice a day depending on volume, because if you're not cleaning that filter and you're not taking it out and spraying it down and wiping it down, it could lead to a flood. So a minor inconvenience or something that might not be so savory can really save you in the long run.
Well, it's not everyone's favorite job, but it's one of the more important ones to make sure we get
Absolutely.
accomplished. All right, thanks for giving us a look.
Yeah.
We're behind the service counter, and it's beautiful. We got a little closer look at it earlier. We got a roll down door, but I guess the hook is there is no wash, dry, fold.
Yeah, this is a little bit interesting. We have a service window with no wash, tray, fold. It is by design. At one point, the store actually did have wash, tray, fold. Specifically decided to retain this area and just keep this window open at all times. It does a couple things for our guests. When they come in, usually as a team member, either back here or on the floor, maybe there's a store manager right here, and it just serves as a central place. They know, hey, there's gonna be a staff member there. If I need something, if there's a problem with my machine, if I need a refund, if I need a free laundry bag or whatever it might be, they know they can come grab it right here. And it kind of brings us back to that wash, dry, fold question,
Yeah,
Brian.
so let's zoom out.
Yeah.
So at Supermat, 24 locations, wash, dry, fold everywhere, and now it's not. So what?
We used to do wash, dry, fold in full transparency, and I know that my dad and I have debated this a lot. We've talked about it as a family, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we are delivering the best service to our guests that we can.
So I happen to know that Supermat is a family business, and I know all of you Jansons very well, but maybe you could take a few minutes to tell the group a little bit more about how this comes together, how it operates, and some of the pros and cons of family business.
Yeah, so I would say family business is very nuanced, but I will say that, like I mentioned, my dad started this in the 90s along with the help of my mom, and the ragtag team of the two of them kind of figured out store by store how they can progress this, and they leaned on each other. I'm sure my mom didn't love the hour-long drives out into the middle of Florida to help clean up a store with my dad, but I think Megan's getting a little taste of that now as she's joining the family. But it can have its pros and cons, but at the end of the day, I couldn't be more grateful to kind of work alongside, not only my fiance, but also my mom and my dad. And I worked so close with my dad every day. All the credit of these 24 locations, I will never take credit for these. My dad has built them from the ground up. They're his blood, sweat, and tears. Obviously, we have great teams in place, but at the end of the day, he was kind of that driving force. And a lot of the things that we see in the stores today were his decisions. He was kind of the mindset behind it and the planner. But yeah, working in a family business, it can be tense. It can be stressful, but at the end of the day, it's like there's nothing better than being able to ride shotgun alongside your dad when you're, 3 years old or 16 years old.
Yeah, well, and again, I think you're a great example of how to do it right.
Yeah.
And I think the second generation, that is part of your role. How do you take something great and elevate it that much further, put your own imprint on it and your own spin on it?
Absolutely.
And we have a lot of people watching that'll have the opportunity to be the first generation, and they can kind of look ahead of, well, maybe what this can do for our family down the road.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Appreciate you sharing that, and shout out to Ron and Sherry.
Absolutely.
All right, Supermat, it's 2025. We've got 24 stores. What's the future look like?
Yeah, so I think the future is evolving day by day, Brian. But at this time, I know we're super focused on how can we improve our current experience. How are we delivering all of our mottos and all the important variables to our customers when they're coming in here? And of course, when the right expansion opportunity comes along, it's never something we ignore. If there's any partnerships out there, it's always something we're open to. We try to be flexible and open to anything that comes our way. At the end of the day, there's no one answer for that question. We are always in the growth mindset. I know my dad always ingrained a saying in me when I first got into this business. When we started talking about this as a family when we were really young, he said, act like you're selling tomorrow and act like you're keeping it for 20 years. And what that does as an operator is it kind of guides all of our decisions, whether we're going to invest in new signage or branding or card systems or retool an entire store. We're okay with that upfront investment or making an investment into our store because we have the mindset that, hey, while we are focused on profitability, selling tomorrow, we are also focused on the next 20 years of, hey, we want to have this extra equipment in here for 25 years. We want to have a card system that's going to last 10, 15 years. So I think it all comes back to that, that one motto.
I think that pairs up nicely with one of the trends that I'm seeing, especially in some markets. Locations are scarce, stores for sale are scarce.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of focus on kind of improving existing unit sales.
Yeah,
in other words, what's the potential with our current footprint? Again, always keeping an eye on what's next. So appreciate you sharing that. I'm sure the future is going to be bright for Supermat.
Thank you.
Well, RJ, your dad, Ron, has been a long time supporter of CLA and the association, both nationally and at the Florida level. And, as a second generation in, just so pleased that you've been involved yourself.
Yeah,
so maybe
absolutely.
talk a little bit about your network and how the associations maybe helped along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my dad was a Dexter distributor all the way from '96 up until just a year ago. And through that, he was always encouraging all the different operators and future operators that he would interact with to get involved in the CLA. And ever since I was young, I knew what the CLA was, obviously, but I didn't quite understand until actually my first clean show. And I do want to share this story because I think it really kind of emphasizes what the CLA is all about and what Brian is all about. Brian and my dad, go back many, many years, and not only do they have their professional relationship, but also I'd like to say that they're pretty close friends.
Sure.
Done a few trips together, and it's really been nice. But for me personally, I didn't have that relationship with Brian until pretty recently, where my very first clean show, the last clean show in Atlanta, I remember coming in and there was just so many people, and Brian is always so busy around this time of year with clean show. And I remember that I was walking around, didn't know anyone, and I saw Brian. And I knew my dad had wanted me to go, talk with you and just have a brief 5-minute conversation. And even though there were 20 people all vying for Brian's time, I was just standing right next to him, and he took time to actually turn around. And as the representative of CLA for me, that was my very first interaction with them on a professional level. Brian took the time out to meet with me, shake my hand, talk to me for a little bit, even though all these kind of lifelong friends that you've had in the industry were all around you. So I would just say that goes to show kind of the value of CLA. It doesn't matter if you're a new member, if you've been a member for 25 years, you still get that same treatment from CLA. And it also just helps your network. I mean, at the end of the day, I think one thing I see in the laundry industry is that although we're all competing with one another, we're all part of one larger organization. The CLA is always advocating, whether it's on the legislation level or just to make our experience as store operators better. And then to have that network, to have a resource library to lean on, and all the things that CLA is doing, like these videos, super valuable as an operator.
We've had an awesome visit here in Kissimmee at Supermat with our Family Replay Learn Center. All the great things they've got going here, this beautiful store, all the equipment, everything geared toward giving customers the best possible experience. If you'd like to join successful operators like the folks at Supermat, become a member of CLA. Scan the code and become a member today.